something the Rebbe shared, the Verbringen of Shavuos, Chag HaShavuos, Tavshin Yud Zayin. I looked up the sources here, so there's more elaboration. He said it's known, it's brought down in Teres Chaim of the Mittel Rebbe. And the Mittel Rebbe brings that the Baal Shem Tov, towards the end of his day, his life, he fasted many Tanesim and he was mispalel, many tefillas. And he says that this is the detail there, that even when he's holding before Kabbalah Shabbos, about to enter into saying Kabbalah Shabbos, which is the aliyahs of the Olamus, the aliyah of all of creation, and his dveikus in the likus and the Olamus Elyonim, even then, quote, he should be able to answer a question that deals with ordinary matters, dvarim b'teilim. You know, people come to the tzaddik for advice in physical matters. He should be able to respond then. Even this moment of tachlis adveikus, and fasted and supplicated heaven, they should be able to do so. And he was paying this by himself. This whole arichas the Teres Chaim, but that's the nekuda. Then the Rebbe brings, and in another place, this is from the Rebbe Marash, he said like this about the Baal Shem Tov. It's about during the weekday, interesting quotation, the Baal Shem Tov was 1/3 Lamaila and 2/3 Lamata, and on Shabbos he was 2/3 Lamaila and 1/3 above and 1/3 below. Conclusion, that constantly, whether weekday or Shabbos, he was never detached from the world. To one degree or another, there was a part of him above and a part of him below and a part of him above. So the Rebbe says that this is a lesson to each one of us. And here's the lesson. I'm going to push it translate because you're going into davening now, and this is inspiration for your davening. It's number one, when even a Yid is out in the world and making a living and so on, he has to remember his whole atzlachas from the Eibishter. Birchas Havai Hita, it's Hashem's bracha that brings wealth. And therefore, not only when he's learning and davening, but even involved in Uvdin Dechoyel, it has to be in such a way, he quotes a pasuk that the Goy sees that Elikus, Bashem Tov, even as he's, and this is the meaning that we say, Amavdil ben Yisrael Amim. Hashem differentiated, distinguished between Yidden and the rest of the world. What is it referring to? When a Yid is davening and learning, it's not shaykh to say Hashem made a distinction, because they have no shaykhs to this. It's in a different world. When do we say a distinction? When it's required. And that is when he's involved in business and his other needs, which everybody else is also doing. And still there's this distinction, because by the Yid, he knows God in all of his ways, even there, and he uses everything in order to achieve da'eho, know him. And how does he accomplish this? In order to achieve this, that even when he's involved in his material matters, he feels that that's the Eibishter gives him the ability to be valiant, to be successful. So this is how Ein of Lamata, just what he's referring to as follows. The Gemara in Yevamis, Tomachlek is there. Bottom line is the Psukim, that brings the Shulchan Aruch. One post Beis Hamikdash, do we face the Beis Hamikdash or not? So one pasuk says that my eyes will be there forever. Another pasuk that in Iyov, in Eicha, is that we look heavenwards, no longer to the ground, no longer to the earth. And yet the other pasuk says eternally. So the Gemara concludes that how should a person daven? His eyes downwards. That's the acknowledgement of the Shekhinah still being connected to the Beis Hamikdash. And Librei Lamaila, in his heart, he should be upwards, consider himself as it were, connecting to Hashem beyond in the heavens. That's the Gemara. So the Chassidus explains, what does it mean? His eyes downward and his heart upwards. It means to say that even the time of davening, ein of lamata, that his body and all his gashmistic things are davening with him. This is the ladder that Sulam, the ladder which is right mutzav aretz, deep in the ground, and its head reaches deep into the heavens. This refers to davening. So if during davening he's removed from physical matters, he's like another person. So then when he goes back onto the world, he can forget completely his davening and has no effect. And therefore, libay l'mayla, his heart bound heavenwards, but ein of lamata, his eyes down, cast downwards, as he explains the Alter Rebbe in Torah Ohr. And therefore, this gives the koyach that even during davening, he elevates his physical things. And moreover, after davening, the effect remains. Finally, and where do we get the koyach for this? The koyach is to the iskashus, to the inyan of the Baal Shem Tov. It means to Chassidus, to the Rabbeim, to the Rebbe. The Baal Shem Tov was constantly in this matzav. He adds in the footnote, you can't ask this from us, but to be connected to where he's connected, so this fuels us as well. And especially this is Shavuos, and today with Achon, now we're Easter Chag, on his Yom Hilula, there's a special keich miyuchad, a special keich is given to everyone and all those that are shaykhs to him. That even while he's davening, the Maila, in Yiddish, while he's davening, he's cognizant of his conduct during the day. That's what his davening is all about, how this will be translated in his conduct. Lamata. So then, in the course of the day, the effect of his davening will continue to guide and inspire him. And this conduct, he draws and reveals the unity of Hashem from the greatest heights, ad lamata mata. Have a wonderful day, my friends, and may Hashem see everybody tomorrow.
Thank you.